While the astronaut was using the toilet, he noticed something strange. Normally, after the spacecraft's waste was processed in a sealed system, a small amount of crystal and residue would form inside the toilet. But this time, there was nothing there at all. He remembered that 2 months earlier, while he was checking the equipment, a human figure had briefly appeared on one of the monitors. That fleeting image had already made him suspicious of the spacecraft. To find out the truth, Jack began to investigate in secret. He recalled that just after their spacecraft had launched, a terrifying message had come from the base saying that a nuclear war had broken out on Earth. They had survived only because they were already aboard the ship. Once they reached space, they tried to contact the ground, but all they received was a pre-recorded mechanical message. To them, it meant that humanity might have been completely wiped out. Everyone on board was devastated. The captain decided they would still carry out the mission. It would take the spacecraft 230 days to reach Mars. To reduce their exposure to radiation, they sealed all the windows. Even if they reached Mars safely, there would be no way back to Earth. At first, everyone was overwhelmed by despair. They only managed to keep going thanks to the captain's constant encouragement. With 2 months left before reaching Mars, they finally began to pull themselves together again. That day happened to be the captain's birthday. They danced and sang to let out their pent-up emotions. Suddenly, Laura burst into tears. The mood in the cabin instantly turned heavy again. Jack stepped forward and announced a major discovery. He believed the spacecraft had never actually launched. Earth, he said, had not been destroyed. In his view, they were inside a simulation chamber, being used as test subjects. The others were not convinced. Just then, an alarm began blaring through the cabin. A powerful solar flare was said to be on its way towards them. It could destroy the entire spacecraft. The captain immediately ordered everyone to prepare for impact, but Jack just smiled and said this was also part of the test. He laid out a string of arguments. For example, there were no crystals forming in the toilet anymore, and if real nuclear warheads had detonated, there was no way the ship could have survived the blast. To him, these details proved that everything happening around them was fake. Everyone thought he had lost his mind. To prove he was right, Jack decided to take the risk of opening the hatch.